Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for Ellie's Studio, and I'm sharing with you a Halloween layout created using the September kit that was released yesterday. And this is the layout. It's a multi-photo layout. So I am creating predominantly with the kit itself. I am also using the Thankful paper stack that has some awesome colors that you can incorporate into some Halloween layouts. And there is also a sticker set, the Halloween cardstock stickers, that I also intend to use. So you can see the color palette here is going to be that teal, orange/yellow, and then black and gray as well. So I want to frame the layout, so I'm creating some super thin strips. They are only as wide as the stars are wide, plus a little more, to go all the way around and frame the layout. If you follow my work, you know that I feel like at least one of the edges of a white background needs to be grounded, otherwise you just kind of float off the page. And because Ellie's Studio no longer makes 12 by 12 papers, I have no option other than to frame this out by cutting strips, which is fine. It's super easy to do, and liquid adhesive is super easy to apply, and then just lay them down along the edge there. And it just so happens, because of the size of the paper stacks, which is 6 by 8.5, so traveler's notebook size-ish, that they are super easy to get that perfect alignment of the stars. And the stars are small enough too that even if it weren't perfect, you wouldn't really notice. So I'm going to frame that out with that starred paper, and you can see I've laid out my pictures in a square grid there. And then from there, the symmetry and the geometry that I like to stick to with right angles just goes out the window. This is a slightly different layout for me in that yeah, there's a lot of layering. So I am going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 3 by 4 pocket cards to frame and layer around that grid there, which completely takes the grid out of this layout. And so just, yeah, it was fun to just layer it down and use up my kit, but not just to get it used, if that makes any sense. I wanted an equal amount of color on top and bottom and around the sides, and it was just fun. It was just a fun layout to create. So you can see I used scraps behind that photo, so there wasn't enough to go down the other edge. You can see yeah, where I cut a star out of that. I think it was a star. No, it was a banner. And the rest of it just frames it, but it frames it really nicely because she is a black cat. And so it adds a really nice pop of color and contrast to her black outfit there. So I am trying to keep the hearts as hearts. I'm trying to also preserve enough room that I can journal. And I want that piece of paper from the stitched paper from the paper stack, the Thankful paper stack, because it's contrast. So a lot of the cards you can see are the lighter hues of the colors that I'm using. And so I want that darker contrast to be contrast to Mia as she's standing there in full costume in that photo on the left there. So I've got the black that's framed around the outside, but that's a very thin amount of the dominant color. And so I want a few other hits of dominant color in order to make her stand out, but not stand out in isolation, if that makes any sense. So I've decided I'm going to create a banner here that's going to be on that left-hand side, and it is straight up and down, which goes with the straight up and down, that vertical of the photo. And that way there's some unity. While there's a lot of chaos in the haphazardness of the way that I lay the 3 by 4 cards down, this solid stripe that goes with the solid vertical photo tie everything together nicely and kind of wrap things up there. So I have committed to the placement of these cards. I know there are others that I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and commit to these, adhere them down to the page, and build around that foundation that I have there. And again, what I'm trying to do is just create balance of color on all sides, as well as the depth of color on all sides. And so I'm going to use these 3x4 cards, as well as the September labels and the labels that are found in the die cuts of the kit itself to create that balance there. So that's the one card that I split top and bottom. I did cut the bottom of the teal card that is up top, and I actually don't end up using that on the page, but I will use it somewhere else. I've added it to my kit scraps, so it's an option. I also feel like I need that vertical element that will be on the right hand side of the page as well, but I have a lot of orange that's in the page, and I feel like I need another heavy dominant color. So I'm going to go with this same black that I outlined the page with, and that is a perfect complement to the vertical photo, the tall vertical photo, as well as that banner that is over there. It rounds it off nicely. So I'm going to use this top of the stitched orange card there because I don't have any orange at the top, and that is going to wrap up the top of the card there. Now I'm working on just putting a few other little finer elements to this, and that is where these labels, the die cut labels and the September labels, are going to come in. I struggled as I was laying them down with the word on the right that says currently, and then the word on the left that says the best. One reads down the page and one reads up the page. I really like to maintain directionality in my layouts, but really they're small. You can't really tell. So I decided just go with it, because really, who cares? It's just a scrapbook page, right? And it was more about having the color on the page. So these are the Halloween stickers that are add-ons available this month. I thought I was going to use a lot more of them, but Mia is, in this picture, she is 14, and she was going to cotillion. And it was a Halloween themed dance that she dressed up for, but it wasn't trick-or-treating. It wasn't about candy. And while nobody else knew that other than me, and I could use the stickers, I like to try and stay true to the story that I'm telling, and so they had no relevance really to the story, and so I opted to leave out more stickers than I thought I was going to put on there. I also had used so many of the labels. I forgot that there were labels on the back side of the stickers, and I had already used the September labels and the labels that were in the kit, so I really didn't need those Halloween labels there too. The color palette of the stickers was also very heavy in purple, and I didn't have purple in the layout, and I didn't want to incorporate another color into that. Now, there's no reason I couldn't have, as long as I sprinkled it throughout the layout, but I felt like I had so many layers and so much chaos going in the way that I had put those layers, that I didn't want to introduce another busy element to that. So just kind of rifling through and seeing what's going to work. I really felt like I needed to have a pumpkin on there somewhere, and it was another dominant color, so that dominant orange that just gave a little bit more structure to the layout, and I'm going to pop that up on the right hand side of the layout there. Then all I really need are the finishing touches and a title. So this month available to you in the add-ons, you have the gold tiny shapes and dots puffy stickers. So I'm going to use those, which I've got here, to add just a little bit of shine to the layout. And then you also have the autumn puffy hearts, and I just love them. So I'm going to use those again to add a little bit more color to the bottom of the page, and then provide some contrast up next to where it says all the details in that gray card there, for some contrast there. This month you also have available to you the Jane tile alpha stickers, which I've got here, and I'm going to notch them to create little banners just down the bottom that's going to say Cotillion Cat, and I won't subject you to having to watch all of that. And then I am going to also use this month's acetate stickers for the stitching. So these are the acetate stickers. You can either buy a stamp, or you can buy these pre-stamped stickers that are on the clear acetate if you are afraid of stamping and don't really know if you want to commit to that. So that is going to wrap up the layout. I have the close-ups to follow. I'm over on the blog with this particular layout. So if you haven't seen it already there, you can head over there and enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are getting ready for fall. Hope to see you again soon. Take care.